time, I would like to announce that within the coming couple of weeks we will issue an enforcement a survey we made on enforcement situation around the world. It's the second one we make. The first one was in 2006. In this document we establish priorities. In the one we made in 2006, the priority as a country was China on a category of its own, and then there were two other lists of countries where we have problems, and for each of these countries we have tackled it in a different way. I can't tell you about them all today, but either through these dialogues, either through technical assistance, either through the negotiation of free trade agreements where we include detailed clauses on intellectual property. We have done it in Russia, in Ukraine, in several countries in Latin America. We are trying very hard to do it in Turkey. But, well, this revised version will reassess the situation and establish a new priorities or a revised list of priorities. So that was it for today. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the transparency on the ACTA work, and also that you are speaking with the Chinese. Because I heard also from the same Chinese that I talked about yesterday that he says he's more, he has more problems with the Western people who are investing there in the copies they make to send them back. So, I mean, I think it's a two-way discussion that has to be conducted. Can I turn to Dr. Rubik now to open the debate and give some feedback on the statements that have been given?
Yes, first of all, many thanks. I think we need such a kind of debate because through the financial crisis and through the development of global economic questions, it's necessary to find answers. And the truth is, and you have spoken from the TRIPS agreement, that the WTO round has to be finalized. One part of WTO round would be trade facilitation, and of course within trade facilitation we have to look what at least customs role could be in the future, because as you know, if you put the goods through one of the big harbors like in Netherlands and you have no patent in Netherlands, so the customs can't act because it's legal to transport it in. If you have a patent in Germany or in France, and if the goods come in by Netherlands, we are facing a problem that we have no internal borders, and that of course it's very difficult to find a policy together with customs. So therefore, from the global point of view, it's necessary to see how in the different institutions, if it's WIPO or others, how we can get a framework which could be, of course, be more detailed and better in quantity and quality on the different levels. So I think Europe is in the ICT area a big step forward, and that was debated together with SMEs policy, especially for the small and medium-sized enterprises, which at least produce 50% of the GDP of Europe, where 2/3 of the employees are working, and they pay at least 80% of the tax. So SME is the backbone in European economic policy, and of course for SMEs it should be possible to get a so-called e-patent through the internet with a very strong formalization where a multilingualism is automatically produced and where we really can act local but to protect global. Act local and protect global is one of the issues where we have to strengthen the European economy. And I think it's necessary to have an active patent policy. In some areas we still are hindered through a very passive form because for a lot of people intellectual property means nothing. You can't see it, so it has no value. And therefore meetings like this should show that property, if it's in a physical way or in an intellectual way, that property is a real value for our society. And to create this value, of course, you need an understanding on the political level, and that's what we not always find. So therefore, especially for one-man companies, for very, very small companies, it's their only chance to be protected for the work which they do on an intellectual base over years, where they invest a lot of money. And if they are not protected, somebody else can come, and within a few hours he can get lost of all his brain work which he did, and also investment which he did. So therefore, of course, the question of costs is quite important. How smaller the company, how more difficult to get this protection. That's the reason why we should think how we can make it easier, especially for one-man companies or persons, how we can treat them, which area of protection could be given, not only from the national point, not only from the European level. Can we have bilateral contracts or multilateral agreements on how we can help SMEs to get the right protection and how to enforce it? This year I was in holiday in Italy, in Jesolo, and I was together with 1 million people on the coast. And I think we had every 3 minutes somebody from Africa who offered us a nice Gucci bag, a nice Emporio Armani watch. You can find all kinds of goods, also a massage from Chinese specialists. So at least it was like in a really big store. So you couldn't rest, because all the time somebody wanted to sell something. So what's behind? Of course, the producer from these goods, which may come very often out of China. Then we have the problems with African people who are coming on the black market, working without any social protection. But thousands of them are employed, paying no tax, out of the system, and that's the reason why they can be so cheap. And they flood not only Italy, you find them on I think most of the coasts and holiday areas. And of course they are in heavy competition with the one who pay tax, who have social protection, and who keep the European social system on the right level. So intellectual property means that if we want to take care on our legal business, that we have to be active on the one who are illegal. And that's where European Parliament is very eager to find solutions together, of course, with the European Commission. And what's not always clear, and also with the Council, to get a global approach on this area. Because only if we educate the people, I say a little bit with a smile, within the European Parliament, what intellectual property is, what a patent is, and I wouldn't go out and make a question from